Australians love a grand final. It means something. It gets the nerves pumping and the blood boiling. Our footy codes live for one day, the grand final. In racing, there are many parallels. In spring, the grand final happens at Flemington. In autumn, it's Sydney's Royal Randwick. For everyone involved, this is their grand final. From the florists to the track managers, the chefs to the milliners. Today is the culmination of a long season, all timed for this one day, this grand final. And for those magnificent thoroughbreds that give meaning to the party, they too have been trained to the second. There is sense to this early morning madness. In the dark of the track work, instructions are barked by trainers and followed by jockeys.
Go Richard, lead him up 6-2, right? Slide him
You and Adrian back on the big grass, you go 4 home, 2 best come away, right?
That's how this chain of command works. Furlongs are timed and analysed. And when the sun has finally risen, the thoroughbred is treated, swum, and fed. Equine athletes on their way to the grand final. Today, they parade in all their gleaming glory, at the peak of their fitness and ability, to be ridden by men and women who starve, sweat, and sacrifice for a shot at their own glory on this day, the grand final. Sydney's stunning harbour and its racing home, Royal Randwick, become the showpiece of the thoroughbred world. This is the championships, the grand finals of thoroughbred racing.
And another stunning day in Sydney, as we had last week for day 1 of the championships, as we roll into day 2, with the feature being the Longines Queen Elizabeth. It's the richest weight for age race in Australia at $4 million plus the trophies. And all up, can you believe it, $10.8 million, including the trophies, with the 4 Group 1s. Royal Randwick looks great. Hugh Bowman, well, he's already started with the winner today, but he could get to $20 million in prize money won this season. No jockey's ever done that. He's on about $14.5 million. He's been sweeping the borders, Hughie, and that's him on the Mighty Winx last week. More about her later. And what about for Ollie? He's had a little bit of a drought, to be honest, in Sydney, but if he wins a Group 1 today, and he's hitched his ride with Kiramara a bit today, with Ascadelia and Jamaica, also with Chris Lees, with Lucia Valentina, he'll join Roy Higgins on 108 Group 1 wins. He maybe go past him. George Moore's the only jockey to have won more than that on 119. So it's real racing royalty with Ollie today. Hello, welcome to Royal Randwick. It feels royal, it really does. It is a championship day, a grand final day, as we said. Wonderful horses, and I'm with Simon and Simon. And do you know what? Of all those Group 1 races, I love an Oaks, and we've got a good one today.
We certainly have. Ollie will have to have all these special abilities on board Jamaica. Her last 3 races have been at Group 1 level. She has drawn barrier 12, 14 and 12. Today in the Oaks, she will jump from barrier 14. He'll need all these special qualities, so will she. But I think today we will crown her the best 1.5 mile filly in the country.
And Sim, the Kiwis are here to take it away from Jamaica too. Some wonderful 3-year-old fillies. They've already taken out the 3-year-old Derby with Tavago. The Coolmore Legacy, the Group 1 for fillies and mares. It's as tough as Ronda Rousey to pick the winner in that, but we'll have a crack. And strap yourself into the recliner, folks, for the Sydney Cup. It's a test of 3,200 metres, and I'm leaning towards Grand Marshal. I wonder why. But the race for me today is the Queen Elizabeth. Weight for age racing at its best. And we've got the best horses there, but will Preferment, boys, continue his dominance, or will Criterion bow out as a back-to-back winner of the race and become a daddy and go to stud?
Simon won at Queen Elizabeth. No wonder he's keen on it. I can remember. It was a brilliant ride, as always. So here's the program today. A total of 21 scratchings, but one of those occurred in the first today. A lot of the emergencies are out, and not too many key scratchings. I guess our Ivanhoe was the biggest one during the week. We get towards the Group 1s with the James Bogue, Australian Oaks, and then we get to the Swept Sydney Cup, the Coolmore Legacy Stakes, the
Australia's other great 2-mile race. Since 1866, the nation's best stayers have tackled the famous Randwick rise at the finish of the Group 1 Sydney Cup. Hall of Famers, Carbine, Kingston Town and Mackay Diva are all on the honour roll. The last 3 years have been dominated by the big stables of Williams, Waterhouse and Waller. And this year's edition will see these powerhouses clashing again for $2 million in prize money. The Chris Waller show rolls on with last year's Quinella Horses Grand Marshal and Who Shot the Barman joined by the emerging stayer Libra. Waller is striving for a 4th straight win.
So the Sydney Cup next up, and then, of course, following that is the old Queen of the South and then the Longines Queen Elizabeth. Let's have a look at the totes now for the Sweps Sydney Cup. So 360 for Who Shot the Barman, 460 Grand Marshal and 370 Liberum. So Chris Waller dominating, isn't he? He had the Quinella last year. He might get the trifecta this year. Now, we had a fall in the previous, obviously, with Single Gaze and Kathy O'Hara. Richo's just joined me in the Theatre of the Horse. What about Kathy?
Yeah, well, it wasn't an eerie feeling whenever one of our jockeys goes down. Now, the good news is she's conscious. She is complaining. Firstly, she's in a lot of pain, and she's complaining about a collarbone injury at the moment. The good news is she was put on the gurney fairly quickly to eliminate any neck injuries. We'll have a riding change in the Sydney Cup. Lycus Carousel was to be ridden by Kathy O'Hara. And now we also start an investigation as to what caused the fall. Blake Shin and Damien Oliver are two of the jockeys that will be certainly involved in that investigation.
OK, so we're having a look at the fall now. So you can see Jamaica and Happy Hannah involved as well. So it got pretty tight, didn't it?
That's right. Well, Jamaica pushing out, and then by the look of that, we haven't got the side-on view, it looks like Single Gaze has clipped the heels of Happy Hannah, and as a result, Kathy's had a very serious fall. Such an eerie feeling out in the front when a big fall in such a massive race day. And just a reminder also, I know the National Jockeys Trust do a lot for injured jockeys. I think a great reminder for everyone out there how dangerous this sport is.
Absolutely. So let's hope that all's well with Kathy. But it's a pretty good report. Just very quickly, it was a strange move by Ollie early. I mean, was there much talk about that with Jamaica so far back?
Well, she just missed the kick by just half a length. I think she was a smidgen.
Crazy good horse. Let's have a look at Al Moonquith. Now, he had a terrific spring. Wins a Geelong Cup, wins a Sandown Cup, and David Hayes feels like he's got him cherry ripe.
Yeah, well, he's a horse he can stay. He's won over the 3,200 metres in the Sandown Cup. He beat the Offer on that occasion by a length. And just the soft conditions are my only query with him, but he's peaking today. He looks 110% hard fit. Hugh Bowman on board.
So as we go down the page, let's have a look at Grand Marshal. Now, we know he gets the trip. He's the defending champ, so to speak.
I just like the way he finished off last start. The writing's on the wall for him. And the great thing about that is 3,200 metres. The 3,200 metres this is where he comes into play, and he loves the juice out of the track. So Grand Marshal, James McDonald from barrier 6 with 55 kilos, ticks all the boxes. He's ready to rock and roll. He's my number one pick.
Well, here's Lib Brown. We can see Lib Brown now. He's going for 4 in a row. You've talked about the races that he's won. Simon, you've seen him in the mounting yard more than me. Is he holding his condition?
Yeah, he is, Bruce. He's a clean-winded stayer, and he's lovely and relaxed. We've seen him like this every time. He's got that beautiful kind eye. Look how much length he's got. Now, he's tightened up a little bit from his 2,600-metre gallop and win last start, but that's good. He's having a good listen to what I'm saying too, but he's the horse on the way up with the perfect form.
Simon, what about the chances of Ouvray?
Look, Bruce, I think the sticking out of the ground is going to help him a little bit. I'm not surprised he's those sort of odds. His last couple of runs, I think, have been below par for him. He's really got to step up over the 2 miles. He likes it, but I just don't think he's been racing well enough to win a Sydney Cup.
I think that's fair enough. Yeah, he's Certainly Libran has had his measure. So we're seeing the stayers and the mounting yard, the Schweppes Sydney Cup worth $2 million today. So a continued upgrade in the prize money up to $2 million. And for our Victorian viewers that have been watching Royal Randwick and want to stay with us, remembering that we've got 3 Group 1 still to come, it's time now to switch to 7-2 to stay with the championships here at Royal Randwick. So switch over now to 7-2.
Placed in a Melbourne Cup, placed in a Sydney Cup, peaking. He just missed preferment at Group 1 level in a BMW. He drops from 59 to 57, Gate 5, Blake Shin. Lot to like about Who Shot the Barman.
Simon, Cafe Society, 8 runs in Australia, only 2 placings, but they've been his last 2 starts. I think he's finding his form.
Yeah, he is finding his form. If he didn't have those last 2 runs under his belt leading into this race, Bruce, I would have given him no hope. But he's finding some of his good European form here in Australia in his last 2 runs. He's running the chairman. He beaten less than half a length. So if he's come on from that, you've got to give him a chance over 2 miles.
So like a carousel, 3rd last year at 150 to 1. Now Blake Spriggs comes on for Kathy O'Hara. So Blake Spriggs, the rider of Like a Carousel, comes on for Kathy O'Hara. Look, he was in the Adelaide Cup last start. We know he gets 2 miles. I just don't think he'll get it quick enough. He was a long 3rd behind Graham Marshall and Who Shot the Barman last year. I doubt whether he can replicate that today. It would be a big surprise for Like a Carousel. DIC's interesting, Simon, isn't he? I mean, DIC, Gay talked to us earlier about him. Look, he was 4th in the New Zealand Derby a couple of years ago. Well, last year, really. That was behind Mongolian Khan and Volk, Stock and Barrel. Now, he's beaten 4.5 lengths. Robbie Waterhouse has got a great eye for horses. He found this horse for Gay and said, look, he could be a top-class stayer. He looks fantastic, I've got to say, looking at him now. So I think he's an improver. And, Simon, talk about a throw at the stumps. You know more about a throw at the stumps than I do. This horse was dominant at Moonee Valley, but it was a benchmark race. I mean, this would be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it certainly would. And I was reaching through the form last night, Bruce, thinking, OK, why is he here? Look, he has won over 3,000 metres. That was the only thing I could find, but in far lesser company, and I feel he should be back in benchmark races. But Mick Kent, well, he's been a trainer for a long time, and he wouldn't be up here just to get the frequent flyer miles. So let's see how he goes.
Well, it's a lot of money, and it pays right down, so who knows? DIC just noticing now sweating up a little. Let's go to you, James Jordan. A challenge. Can you get your head around Chris Waller, or is it Waller again?
Yeah, look, I've taken an opinion here with Libran. I know he drops in weight, but I don't think he's the sort of horse who necessarily goes faster with a lower weight. I wasn't that impressed with the last 200 metres last start. He did get over the top, but he ran a very slow time, so I just think he's under the odds. I marked him at $6. The one I think will run well is Who Shot the Barman. Did it last year, obviously he just got nutted. His lead-up runs have been very good, he'll be in the right spot, and I think the cutout suits him as well, so he's the way to go, Who Shot the Barman.
At $4.20, James, and one thing's for certain, out of the Waller runners, Who Shot the Barman and Libran have been the best 2 back. Grand Marshall actually got out to $7. We just took a nice bet on it after we pushed out. It's back into 6, but clearly it's between Who Shot the Barman and Libran. We're not going to be generous with Almonquith. I talked about that before, into $6 with Hugh Bowman aboard, so we'll keep that safe. And also Galante had some good sized bets. 9's just out to 10s now. We've just pushed it out a bit. We've reduced our percentages. Cafe Society 13s to 15s, and DIC at $31 has had a couple of small bets. But best backed at the moment, Who Shot the Barman?
And the James Bogues Premium Australian Oaks. Well, it was a sensational race in lots of ways. Jamaica, big run, ridden back by Ollie, decided to ride for luck, and she finished 4th with a big run, but it was Sophia Rosa getting home, the New Zealand Oaks, first past the poster that lost on protest. Huey Bowman wins a 3rd Australian Oaks, a 4th race for the day. Stephen Marsh, the trainer, his father, rode the winner of a Melbourne Cup. It's a famous New Zealand family. And the news on Kathy O'Hara, we just heard from Richo, and a tweet from Ray Thomas, conscious, talking to ambulance officers, suspected broken right collarbone, concussion, chest soreness, taken to hospital. So that's the latest at the moment with Kathy O'Hara after the fall of Single Gaze. Now, the Single Gaze, pretty good, we think, came back with his Single Gaze now. So minor abrasion. So this is terrific. This little Bonnie mare, I mean, what a filly she is. She's won a Keith Nolan. She won the Vinery, more importantly, the Group 1. So yeah, that's all important stuff. Huey Bowman's getting a stranglehold on the Nathan Berry medal at the moment, and he's certainly showing the way today. So let's go to Crown Bet and to Matt Campbell. Matt, is it one of the Wallers?
No, it's the Hugh Bowman factor you're just talking about, looking for 4 wins in a row. So Huey Bowman on Al Moon Kith. It was $10 in early markets. It's now under $5.50. It's past Grand Marshal. So they're expecting another big win for Huey.
Gee, that would be, I mean, could he make it 5? I mean, well, why not? I mean, he's riding so brilliantly.
And we've got to say, special shout out to Michael Walker too, who he fainted or collapsed at his house, and unfortunately he's had to have some time out. He normally rides Al Moon Kith, and that's why Hugh Bowman takes them out today. So all the best, Michael. Hope you get better well soon. Speed in this. Now, folks, they've got to go past the grandstand for the first time here. It's a 3,200-metre race. They do a lap. They get cheered by all the big crowd here today, and what we're looking for is these stays to get into a nice rhythm and be lovely and relaxed by the time they turn for home and go past us for the first time. So the speed will play a big part in this race.
So you've gone Grand Marshal, sticking with the name. Why not? Who shot the barman for Simon? Jason Galante, and James Jordan was who shot the barman as well. Chris Waller has the opportunity maybe to go 1, 2, 3. He's done it before. The Doncaster famously went 1, 2, 3, 4, which is hard to get your head around.
Yeah, the thing that swayed me,
not this year,
Grand Marshal, who has run so well in a weight for age race this preparation. Who shot the barman's weight for age racing in the last 12 months has been faultless.
Well, he beat your horse in the Sandown Classic by a space, and your horse is a good horse, tall ship, isn't he? He's a quality animal, and
he sustained a long run in that race, carrying 59 kilos. So I just think he's a class above these other horses. Al Moon Kith, I really love the way he looked. Yes, Grand Marshal's got to have a chance. I thought he may need it just a little wetter back in handicap positions.
Jesus.
Plenty of chance.
It's hard to win back-to-back this Sydney Cup. Only 5 have done it in history since World War II, I think. Good old Tie the Knot was the last one to do it. So it's a big achievement if he can do it. 13 have tried in the past 30 years.
So let's go to the 2016 $2 million Sydney Cup. Has never been this rich. And here's Darren Flindell with his
mark down to the post and 1 full circuit to go. So Galante goes in, and we're all boxed and ready. Stand by for a start now on the Sydney Cup for 2016, and they're off and racing. Galante the outside, left pretty quickly. Ouvray a little bit handier today. Cafe Society settled 3rd. Libran's pretty handy to the speed in the early fart, followed by DIC, Like a Carousel the outside, then Destiny's Kiss. Baying over in the yellow blinkers, parks behind the body of the field. A length further back to Grand Marshal. Our Moonquip taken back, and Who Shot the Barman is the last one. So Galante makes the running here. Kira McAvoy goes forward, and Like a Carousel rolls up on the outside going to 2nd, and Ouvray lands the leaders back 3rd. Cafe Society ridden with cover today in 4th. Libran right on its back. DIC couldn't find a spot in, and DIC has to roll forward in a 3-wide position as they come down to the judges box. Then Destiny's Kiss, a length and a half to Grand Marshal, is tucked away on the fence from Bayanova. Who Shot the Barman, and our Moonquith is the last one. They've got a lap of the Randwick racecourse to run, and Galante travels strongly in the lead from Like a Carousel. Ouvray switches off nicely in 3rd. DIC has to do it the tough way. 3 wide, no cover. Cafe Society 5th as they run out of the straight. Then Destiny's Kiss on the inside of Libran. Last year's winner, Grand Marshal, is 4th last from Bayanova. Then Who Shot the Barman, and our Moonquith is at the tail of the field. No change to the order as they run along the Allison Road side of the course. Galante in front by a length to Like a Carousel. DIC keeps chipping away in a 3-wide position, getting closer to Ouvray and Cafe Society. Then Destiny's Kiss from Libran midfield, a length further back to Grand Marshal. Then Bayanova from Who Shot the Barman, and Bowman keeping his powder dry, and our Moonquith as they run up to the halfway mark. They've got a mile to run now, and Galante's gone along at a steady enough pace by a length to Like a Carousel. Then DIC has been 3 wide the trip from Ouvray and Cafe Society. Still no moves at the 1400 metres. Destiny's Kiss further back on the fence on the inside of Libran. Then Grand Marshal from Bayanova, Who Shot the Barman, and 2 lengths last of all is our Moonquith. They've got 1200 metres to run now. Galante trying to make all in the Sydney Cup. Leads out by 3/4 to Like a Carousel. Ouvray railing to a clear 3rd from DIC, then Cafe Society. Destiny's Kiss, Libran, Grand Marshal. He can make decisions from there. McDonald to the inside or the outside. Who Shot the Barman? Barman goes up right at his quarters now down the side of the course from our Moonquith, and the Melbourne mare Bayanova's dropping right out of the hunt. Down the side, Galante in front. DIC goes to a clear second. Like a carousel under immense pressure. Then Ouvray from Cafe Society. Libran, who shot the Barman to the outside from Destiny's Kiss. Grand Marshal snookered for a run, and then came our Moonquith as the field really bunches up in the corner, and Galante still leads from Libran going to a clear second from Cafe Society, who shot the Barman to the outside, and Grand Marshal trying to go with him. Galante in front from Libran. Grand Marshal running on strongly together with who shot the Barman. Galante's not done with. Libran tries, so does Grand Marshal. Who shot the Barman can't win. Galante in front from Libran and Grand Marshal. Galante still in front. He's got Libran beaten, then Grand Marshal, and Galante's going to lead all the way for Kieran McAvoy. Takes out the Sydney Cup by a length to Libran. Grand Marshal third, who shot the Barman fourth, followed by our Moonquith, who couldn't pick up on the rails from Like a Carousel, Destiny's Kiss, Cafe Society, DIC, and the other two flat out on their feet, the French import Ouvray and Bayanova.
Well, is there a better front-running jockey than Kieran McAvoy? I mean, he's at his best when he's up front. He actually won the Sydney Cup way back in 2003. Lloyd Williams wins his 4th Sydney Cup to match his 4 Melbourne Cups. And this horse has found his French form at last, hasn't he?
Well, he comes off a third to Libran, who attacks him there in the light blue colours and the black cap there for the Highclere team. And then you got Grand Marshal just wanting to run in under one rein there on the left rein. Couldn't quite get at him and get to the best of his ability, but take nothing away from Galante. Geez, he settled beautifully. When they lead in front and prick their ears, that means they're relaxing and they're saving their energies. He clipped along from the 700. Too fit, too good.
Richo, the Williams family love the Sydney Cup. They love the Monjeurs, and they'll love this horse right now.
Bruce McAvaney, I think, just summed it up. You love the Sydney Cup, you love the Monjeurs, and the prize money absolutely brilliant now. Well done.
Oh, it's fantastic to win a race on this day. It's, you know, what John Massara has done here in 3 years is an absolute credit to him and all his team. And, you know, to win one of the majors here is very exciting, as it's been when we've come before. And Kieran McAvoy, what a ride. 10 out of 10. That's why he's one of the best riders of stayers in the world, probably. The way he rated that horse out in front, he used all his knowledge that he gained over there for 10 years riding for the Godolphin team in England, and rode him beautifully.
It looked like he was riding absolutely to plan to make it a serious test.
Yeah, look, he got some pretty cheap sectionals there, in the middle, and, you know, he just rated the horse beautifully. We'd said to him before he got on, this horse has just got a sort of furlong, short, sharp sprint. He used him beautifully once he got to the rise, and, you know, he was just too good for them. He was too powerful.
I read somewhere from a very astute man, I think it was Brian Martin, who said that Lloyd Williams had his first winner in this month 50 years ago. That's how much he's been contributing to racing for such a long period of time.
Gee, that amazes me. He tells me he's only 55 years old. I didn't know you could own a horse at that age. I might have to see if we can pull out his birth certificate. He must be taking some liberties with his age. But no, look, Dad's been involved in the game for a heck of a long time, as we know, and, you know, he certainly, I can tell you, he had his first group winner in 1968, but I don't know about his first winner. But, you know, this is a great credit to all our team. You know, I think this is one of Dad's greatest triumphs, myself, winning this race with this horse, because this horse couldn't have won it at the Pakenham night meeting 6 months ago. So, in fact, I think he ran at Pakenham and got beaten, I think, from memory. And I'm serious about that. And, you know, so to turn him round, and to Rob and all the team, they've just done a marvellous job.
Well done. Go and enjoy. What a super win. Well done.
Good on you, Richo.
And well done to you, Richo. On top selection. Look, he did get beaten at Pakenham 3 starts ago. It was before a spell. It was in a handicap. Desert Journey beat him by 8 lengths. He'd come up here for the Hill Stakes and the Craven Play, but he turned it around in the Manion 21 days ago, and look, he's a strong star. He won that Group 1 in, it was the old French Derby. It's now called the Grand Prix. It's the 2400.
Yeah, the 2400, and it was a heavy track. Andre Favre trained him then, and he won, and that's when he came on the radar that, oh, hang on, this fella's got a bit of quality about him. The sting out of the ground was the key. Over there, it doesn't necessarily mean it is here. Now, I suppose his form does point that way, but to see him get through the soft today, you know, that suddenly really announces him here in Australia that if you're at the top end of dead, this horse is going to be a genuine contender in anything he races in.
Well, the last Sydney Cup winner really to challenge for a Melbourne Cup was Mackay Diva, and that was in 2004. A lot of them have run. The Offer was favourite for a while, didn't come up. Grand Marshal last year was down the track. So I wonder, could this horse be even go to the next level and be a genuine contender in a Melbourne Cup?
Well, he's going to get in with the lovely lightweight now, isn't he? 51.5 kilos. He qualifies for the Melbourne Cup, winning this Sydney Cup, so he's in it with a real chance. And the way he outstayed him today was terrific.
And the sire of this horse was the sire of Green Moon. Green Moon, who won the Cup when Brett Preble rode it for Lloyd in 2012 from memory.
Yep.
So the Monjeur's just an incredible stake.
Oh, they certainly are. Yeah, they've won everything through Europe from...
all the derbies, haven't they?
Oh, just brilliant. Sorry, mate.
Quite difficult to win a Sydney Cup with 57. So who shot the barman? You know, he's run incredibly. And Libran, we're going to see him hopefully in springtime too. And Grand Marshal, well, he ran terrific also with 55 kilos. Very hard to win this race back to back, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, Nick Williams said something there about John Massara and the prize money. Lloyd Williams, for many years with these top stars, would have one run in the autumn. Now we see the United States here today. He's probably got a bigger reputation than Galante. The money is so great here in Sydney for the championships that even Lloyd, with all his wherewithal, you can't resist it. You've got to get a bit of it.
Yeah, but I think Lloyd's attitude's changed a little bit as well. Not only from the prize money perspective, which I'm sure means a hell of a lot, but these are different horses. You know, the influx now of probably in his stable, if he's got 50 horses, 48 of them are from Europe.
He wins $1.2 million this horse today. Does that pay for him? Now, he wins a Grand Prix de Paris. Would Lloyd have paid that sort of money for this horse?
No, he'd be right now.
He'd be right now. Okay.
He was only 2.3 lengths off preferment in the Hill Stakes there last year. So, he's got the ability. He's proved it today.
Hey, Richo, you were reminiscing about Lloyd in 50 years. I reckon Karen McAvoy rode keeper for Lloyd. Now, it's a long time ago, a Group 1 winner, but I'm not sure how good his memory is after winning a Sydney Cup.
Yeah, that's the first question I'll get to. Bruce saying that he thinks your association with Lloyd goes back to a horse by the name of Keeper. Is that right?
Yeah, it was a while ago. Actually, Ray Thomas, who's right here, got the date out of the archives. I think it was 2001, Easter 2001. So that was my first winner for Lloyd, and he's obviously got an affinity with buying these European horses, and full credit to him and Rob and his team, because it's been a masterful effort to get this horse up with only a couple of runs under his belt, and he gave me a lot of confidence going into the race.
And you just rated him perfectly. When did you think you could win? What part of the race?
I was pretty happy at the mile, yeah, and he got a little bit eager and anxious when they got to him at the 1,000, but I was still full of running. Like, he's grabbed the bridle and I was still full of running at the top of the straight, and he got through the ground, which Lloyd said he would, and his European form suggested that as well. So, yeah, huge buzz. We came with a good each way chance, and to be able to pull it off in the colours of Lloyd Williams and Nick, it's been a real buzz of mine, yeah, for sure.
Well, your second Sydney Cup, congratulations.
Thanks very much, cheers.
Good on you, Richo. And Chris Wallace, second, third and fourth, and Lloyd described him this morning as the TJ Smith of the day. So, but it was Lloyd Williams, Robert Hickmott and Karen McAvoy. It is correct weight, by the way, 7-4-3 and 1 after the swept Sydney Cup. So let's check those dividends. And this horse was, well, he was backable, that is for sure, around about that $10 mark. Libran, good run. Grand Marshal, strong run. And Who Shot the Barman? Probably just the weight. I think Simon Marshall summed it up perfectly. He just couldn't accelerate it then. But this horse, if you notice, is actually drawing away on the line. A good sign. The Queen of the Turf. Suavito, back to a trip that I think is ideal for her, Simon.
Yeah, absolutely, Bruce. Now, she won her second Group 1 win, first up over 1,400 metres, beating Lucky Hustler. She then ran into Turn Me Loose, was placed behind him, and then met Preferment, was only 3 lengths behind him, stepping up to the pet distance of 1.25 miles, back against the fillies and mares and the track drying out. She's got the class. She looks terrific. She's just got a shocking draw. She needs a little bit of luck. As
Cordelia comes off the great run of the Doncaster, how does she look?
Well, let's have a look at her. She's lovely and relaxed, got the crossover noseband. Always like to see her chewing along at the bridle there too, just trying to give herself a little bit of room, trying to get that tongue back underneath that bridle. So that's what the crossover noseband's for. But she looks a picture of health. She's going to get a beautiful run midfield and use that acceleration. She has got something left in the tank. She's not sweating, she's not stressed. She's the one I think that can win the race.
Yeah, well-dressed strapper there and looks the part. Now, Miss Rose DeLargo, she'll push forward.
Yeah, she'll push forward, if not lead. Well, she ran some fantastic sectionals at Moonee Valley last time. Here, Sydney way of going, first up, Group 1 win. Hard for me to take.
Okay, Noble Protector was placed behind her last night. She was third in this race last year, when she was going probably at the peak of her powers.
Yes. No luck when she came back this preparation, lost the rider at Flemington first up, and then was really good last start. Unlucky not to win, was held up right till the final stages of the event. So expect her to be really finding the line hard after sitting probably midfield or a little bit closer in running.
Simon Zambar was second in the Great Oaks here 2 years ago and now looks to be back in form.
She's absolutely flying. What a terrific win at Group 2 level over 1,500 metres last start. She steps up to the mile. She loves it, and she's got a little bit of give in the track. Perfect conditions. Let's have a look at her. Oh, yeah, she's peaking. Peaking. She's in the top 3 for sure on looks. So far, so good.
She's peaking, and she's trained by Johnny Thompson. And John, you get a little sting out of the tracks. It's even better than what we saw at Rosehill.
Yeah, well, she's been running very well and consistent on the dry tracks, and as a rule, her old form was she was a really good wet tracker. So it augurs well for Day coming back, to a home track. So she seems well. Fingers crossed.
You're about to chat to Blake. What are the instructions be?
Leave it up to him. He knows it better than me, probably. So yeah, no instructions. Leave it up to him.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
So from Zambar to Casino Dancer, look, she had a great spring. She won the Angst at all sorts of odds and came down to Melbourne and ran well in the Matria and won the Eclipse against the boys. Not going quite as well. It would be a shock, but she is a horse that can pull off a shock or two. Artistry's in great form. Thomas Huay's had 7 rides on this horse for 6 wins.
Yeah, he's going to have to have his best game going today. He's got a wide, awkward barrier. The funny thing about this mare, she's been benchmark racing up until the last 2 runs and then gone into group company, but stepped up and been competitive in both. So it'll be interesting now to see how she goes Group 1 level, to see if she's got that little bit more left in her. I suspect she has.
Change of rider because Kathy O'Hara not riding now, and Vergara ridden by Brenton Abdullah here. Look, career best run, I reckon, last start, 4th in the Doncaster. She led by 3 lengths up the hill. She won the Epona before that. She's going well. And Richo, Anthony Cummings, you've got to believe after the previous race or 2, don't you?
You've certainly got to believe, Anthony. I've just counted her legs. She's got 4 of them, hasn't she?
Just best I can see, yeah. They all reach the ground, even better.
Well, she ran 4th in the Doncaster. She goes around at a huge price here.
Yeah, I know. We get used to that in our place. I mean, believe in the Oaks was 70, 100 on or something. We thought she'd run really well, and she did. I think we know our horses better than the market.
Okay, she'll go forward as always?
Yeah, certainly goes forward. One of the Melbourne visitors, I think, Rose Delago, has the same sort of a racing pattern. So it's a matter for the jockeys to work out who leads, who doesn't, who's going to better. Probably will determine that.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And just repeating a change of jockey there, Brenton Abdullah. Coronation Chelan is horse number 10. Look, she's a capable mare. She won the Tessio. She beat Ascadelia there and ran well in the Emirates. She's a big odds. Slightly Sweet, number 11, 5th in the Emancipation, beaten less than 2 lengths, ran in the Maya Classic. The equivalent of this race in the spring was unplaced. It would be a surprise. She's talented. Heavens Above, now, I could give her some hope. She was very good in the Epona. She won the Aspiration. Her last 6 starts, 2 wins, 4 placings. She's a good mare at the height of her power, not without a chance. What about Lady LaFay?
Lady LaFay has been running in benchmark races, but she does have a fellow by the name of Hugh Bowman riding her, and she's trained by a guy by the name of Chris Waller. So betting is keeping her very, very safe. I'm surprised she's been kept that safe after being well beaten in the Emancipation last start.
So the first of the 3-year-old fillies, Badawea, what did you think of her run last start?
I liked it. First time in Sydney, I don't think she exploded. She changed legs a couple of times. I really do expect her to explode today. So Badawea, I believe, is one of the top chances.
Let's stay with the 3-year-olds. Pasadena Girl, well, she won the Champagne last autumn here, was 4th in an Oaks in Melbourne. I think this is her trip. She's a 1,400-metre, 1,600-metre horse. David Hayes and Tom Davidic now, of course, with Pete Mooney, Kerrin McAvoy. Well, we know what sort of a day he's having. He's having a beauty. A roughie. What about Risque? The stablemate now. this is her trip, I think, the mile, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, Bruce. You know, she's a Group 1 winner. She had 3 goes for 2 wins at the mile. She pulled up with the poultice in her foot last start. She had a boil that needed to burst, and that was the excuse. She looked flat to me in the run, but there was a good excuse for her. Prior to that, she was 3rd against the boys at the mile at Flemington, and she was brilliant winning first up for David Hayes. So she comes right into calculations. She's nice and bright. She's stepping out really well and gets the run from barrier 5. She's a blowout chance.
Last 3-year-old filly to win was back in 2008, Forensics. What a mare she turned out to be, and 2-year-old. Let's go to you, James. Look, terrific betting race. They all are, but we've got a pretty short price favourite. Are you with Escadelia?
Yeah, I am with her, Bruce. I think she's not short enough, to be honest. Look, there's a gulf of class between her and the rest of these horses. Last start was very good behind Winks. That is absolute elite form. The query is whether Damien Oliver from Gate 9 can get that A ground. We've seen the horses win today between 3 and 6 horses off the fence, so his job is to find that ground. If he can do that, I think she'll win. As I said, I marked her a lot shorter. I think she's the best of the day and happy to stick with her.
I tend to agree with you, James, and so do the punters. Best back runner of the day is Ascadelia. I think they feel as though they missed out with Libran, they missed out with Jamaica, so they're happy to tip into Ascadelia. $3.30 now, so it's a lot shorter than we expected, $4 in the open markets. Some money for a couple behind it. Zanbar's out to 8, but we've taken a stack to place. Betterwise in the market at $9.50. Money for 4, Miss Rose Delago. She'll be up on the pace. She's 15s into 11s. Also money for Heavens Above, 20 into 13. And of that page, you talked about the Cummings horse, Vergara, into $21, $51 this morning. So they're looking for summit odds, but Ascadelia will be a great result for the punters.
Well, the last 2 runnings of this, a $41 chance and a $21 chance were successful, and that was after a string of favourites at one. So who knows what's going to happen today? It's the Coolmore Legacy Stakes. It's the Queen of the Turf. They go to the post. Classy day at the championships. This a moment ago with Pasadena Girl, David Hayes with the hat, of course, the trainer. Just used to be with Pete Moody, of course, this filly. She won a Group 1 2-year-old race during the carnival last year, the Champagne Stakes, which will be run next week, and you can see that on Saturday, Arvo Racing.
Yeah, David's had her for 2 weeks. He works and does everything right at home, he said, so just trying to tweak a little bit of a gear change to get her a little bit more competitive against these fillies at the Group 1 level. She's only small. She hasn't grown from a Group 1 2-year-old days, so she's up against it here.
Matthew Campbell from Crown Bet, a market mover.
Ascadelia, Bruce, she's this week's Winks. They absolutely backed it off the map. It's about 70% of the win hold. It's into $2.90. It's a real good go.
OK, well, James Jordan, of course, at the start of the day, declared this as his best bet of the day. So, Ascadelia for him. And what about you boys?
Sounds like the trainer had a bit of a pep talk to the jockey there, Sim. Oliver on...
I'm not going to break confidences, but Kieran and I spoke briefly down at the saddle-up area about his relationship with Damien. It was best we speak about it a little later on.
Give us some.
I feel like if you just join it, Ollie, of course, the great Ollie, and he's an incredible rider, we know. But on Jamaica today, well, you know, did he ride a race that wasn't great? Don't know, but he finished 4th when he got well back, and I think most people expected her to go forward. She didn't, and... had he won, he would have been a genius, wouldn't he?
Yep.
But he didn't.
Absolutely. So he can redeem the situation right here for the team. I think they've got the right horse. Ascadelia, I have on top, the 3. I thought there was some great value. The best in the yard on looks was Zambar, clearly the 6. But I thought the 14, the 3-year-old filly Badawea, that's her on screen. She just got a little sweaty around the flanks just behind the 14 saddlecloth there. You can see it's just getting a little bit hot. She's just up on her toes. I would have liked to have seen her reserve those energies. Now, she'll sit back from her wide gate. Watch for her to storm down the outside late. She's got the ability, but she's a little bit revved up for mine.
She's the outside horse, so let's go to Darren Flindell for his call of the Coolmore Legacy Stakes.
And the red light is on. Ready now for the Coolmore Legacy Stakes. The girls are about to run. Ascadeli, the hot favourite. And they're off and racing. Pretty good line out overall. Bardaweir's jumped away well off the outside, but Vergara's using the rails to lead from Bardaweir. Zambar was quickly into stride. Coronation Shallon's there, and Suavito's going forward from the wide draw. Then Noble Protector back on the fence. Miss Rose DeLoco beaten for speed. Then Risque from Casino Dancer. Lady LaFay. Well back is Heavens Above. Artistry's firing up back in the field. Ascadelia gives them a big start, but Oliver gets a one off the fence. Second last is Slightly Sweet, and Pasadena Girl is the last one. Vergara leads out by a half length to Bardaweir. Suavito got across nicely for the outside gate. Parks up around Noble Protector. Then Coronation Shallon from Zambar. Miss Rose DeLargo. Then Casino Dancer from Risque. Lady LaFay's off the track. Further back to Heavens Above. Ascadelia's back fourth last from Artistry. Then Pasadena Girl and Slightly Sweet whips them in. Abdullah allows Vergara to slip. A couple in front coming to the home turn. Newitt still sitting quietly on Bardaweir in second, and once again she's starting to close the margin on the leader. Then came Noble Protector from Suavito. Zambar pulling out. Coronation Shallon to the outside. Then Casino Dancer, and Ascadelia's giving them a start on the rails, but she is making headway. Vergara in front. Bardaweir under the whip from Noble Protector, and here comes Ascadelia hard along the rails. She's picking up strongly. Ascadelia hits the lead. Heavens Above out of the pack giving chase. Ascadelia's dashed in front. Heavens Above can't pick up the leeway, and Ascadelia, great ride by Damien Oliver. She takes out the Group 1 by 2 lengths to Heavens Above. Noble Protector third, Lady LaFay fourth, then Zambar from Vergara. Further back, Miss Rose DeLargo, Artistry, Suavito, Slightly Sweet, Bardaweir, Casino Dancer, Risque, Pasadena Girl, and Coronation Shallon was last.
Well, she goes from good to very good today. I mean, she hadn't won a race in the city until February, but a Group 1 winner came from a long way back. Heavens Above and Noble Protector getting home for second and third. But this was a dominant win.
Look at Damien Oliver's right shin there. She's gone that quick. He's ripped his silks. That's how quick she went when he pressed the button.
Just shows you how good Winks is. I mean, to be honest, Winks gave this mare a heap of weight last start, and this mare is devastating. And this is what she did last week, but the difference was that
once the gate opened, just turning for home, and Damien could sneak up along the inside, the race was over. It was over in a matter of 50 metres. You could just see she had class, she had speed, she had stretch, she had everything that none of the others had, and she was always going to win that race from the 300-metre mark.
Groundbreaking day, Richo, for Kieran Maher. Not sure if he's had a big winner in Sydney before, but certainly not a Group 1 winner.
Extraordinary performance. A Group 1 in Sydney during the championships. Well done, Kieran.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was great team effort by all the staff, and Ollie rode a great ride, and yeah, he just saved all the ground, and job well done.
Nothing went right, obviously, with Jamaica in the Oaks, and you come to Ascadelia, you saddle up Ollie. I suppose you linked him up and just say, mate, I think we'll put that behind us. Just give us another 10 out of 10.
Yeah, we actually didn't mention that. We just moved on, and to his credit, he had to ride a nice, icy sort of steely ride, and he was patient, and then she's got that devastating turn of foot, and it was super.
She's always looked like a Group 1 winner. This wouldn't be a surprise for you.
No, she's always shown that ability, but because of her racing style, she does run into a bit of traffic and gets a bit unlucky, but she got the favours today.
We've got some great scenes of you and Ben Connolly, a racing manager who owns this mare. He's a lucky man.
Yeah, he's very lucky. Yeah, it's a great horse and great opportunity, and she's a valuable mare now, so it's a good job by all the team.
And for you, as a young trainer based at Caulfield, made the move from Warrnambool to Caulfield, legitimate Group 1 trainer now. I mean, this is the way to attract clients.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought we had a good team when we come up here, and they've been knocking around the mark, but it's just great to get one over the line.
Well done.
Thanks very much.
Now let's have a look at some of the reactions here. Ben Connolly, the owner, Kieran Maher, this is great stuff. Look, you've talked a lot about him, you guys. I mean, a headline act today. Simon, you talked about Simon O'Donnell's son, Kieran Maher's praises. Look, he's the next star in the making in the trainers' ranks, isn't he?
Yeah, and if you wanted proof of that, I think we just saw it then, where the Oaks was obviously bitterly disappointing for all of them. Whether good ride or bad ride from Damien, he moved straight on. He said, no, it wasn't even mentioned. We had other business to take care of. So that in itself is a great amount of maturity. There's trainers in the past who would have given the jockey a rocket, would have thrown them right off their game. Not Kieran Maher. He had the presence of mind to keep his mind on the job he had to do today, and he's reaping rewards.
And what about Ollie? I mean, here he is. He just raised the whip. 108 Group 1. So equals Roy Higgins, second place ever. Hadn't ridden a Group 1 winner in Sydney for a while. We know all of that. Look, a legend, really. I mean, a Hall of Famer. We know all that. There's a big moment for him because he had the disappointment of Jamaica. He's now got a double today. And look at the face. It says it all. So Damien gets level with a bloke that was a hero of his in Roy Higgins.
Handles the pressure better than any other jockey that I've seen or that I rode against. I thought Darren Beedman was arguably the best, and Harry White, I was idol of his, and Paddy Hyland and Darren Gauci. But what this young man's been able to do at 44 years of age, 43, 44 years of age, is quite phenomenal. Okay, he had a run of outs. He didn't have the bullets to fire, which he mentioned here in Sydney. He'd been a couple of years out. But once you get the bullets to fire, you join forces with a young gun like Kieran Maher, this is what can happen. Now, when she ran in the mire, she was ridden cold by Luke Curry, and she exploded, and she was very stiff not to beat politeness. So Ollie was diligent of that. He rode her nice and comfortable early. Vergara pressed the button at the top of the straight. That's what set it up. But away it went. Heavens Above was getting out behind. Noble Protector joined in. Lady LaFay, fantastic at the $14, $15. But what we saw in the Doncaster at 50 kilos was this wonderful acceleration. She was probably a little close there. So Ollie was probably mindful of that, wanted to save that electricity, that sprint, that acceleration, turn of foot we call it in racing. She is a star. Against the fillies and mares all day, every day, she's the one to beat.
No, and look, who knows what's in store for her. I mean, she could be, you know, maybe a Cox Plate horse if they stretch her out to 10. Who knows? I mean, she's got quality. I mean, she's not Winks, we know that, but she's that level down, but she's a genuine Group 1 mare, and she donkey licked them today.
And Kieran Maher, we heard him interviewed earlier. He was my highlight of the day. He stamped himself on the big stage now. He's got a lot of Peter Moody's horses, about 30 of Peter Moody's horses. He's got a number of Peter Moody's stables at Caulfield. He's got a farm out there at Pakenham now. He really has set himself up to be one of the best in the business.
No, well said, Simon. Well, Ollie, what a day, Richo. What a day, and he equals Higgins' record.
It is an extraordinary achievement. Firstly, congratulations. 108 Group 1s. You equal the great Roy Higgins right here in front of 25,000+.
Yeah, it's a huge thrill. A bit emotional because Roy was such a good mate, and but it's a great honour, especially on such a really good horse. She's super, just exceptional today on that soft ground. She was a bit concerned early, but coming to the straight, I just thought how far, you know, she was going so good.
Yeah, you were very, very patient. You know what's underneath the bonnet. You're happy to be 5-6 lengths off them?
Not really, as I said early. I just didn't show much speed. I got a bit squeezed out early, but she's like that. If you leave her alone early, she's got a great finish for you, and you know, she just motored through that ground today.
And to win for Kieran Maher, I mean, I think that we're seeing the emergence of a serious star in training.
Yeah, look, he's done an exceptional job for such a bloke at such young age. He's really composed, and it shines through to his horses. You know, he gives you a lot of confidence when you're riding for him, and it was nice to get a good winner for him today after we couldn't get the Oaks.
Unbelievable achievement, mate. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Of course, they did get the Oaks together in Melbourne, didn't they, with Jamaica? So they're having a big season together. But, gee, you don't see Ollie. You don't see Ollie so emotional.
I was going to say, yeah, it's a rarity to see the great man Damien Oliver have a tear in his eye after all of what he's been through to reach the great Roy. He was a mentor to him, equal the great man, and now has the opportunity to go past him and join maybe the great George Moore.
Yep, 119's that target, 11 more. Has Ollie got him in him? Well, you wouldn't bet against Ollie. What a mare she turned out to be. Noble Protector, we can see on the left, third for the second year. Heavens Above, wow, Heavens Above. Is she going well? But it was Az Cordelia out in front and getting home. So also Ty England on Heavens Above here, so we get a good jockey cam ride. We know that Ollie's about to come through on the inside, but this mare is in career best form. She wins the Aspiration over a mile. She's second to Vergara in the Epona over 1900, and Tim Martin's got her flying.
Yeah, following Casino Dancer and Risque on the outside there. That's Sandbar in the red. Let her out. That's Suavito up there in the pink and the lime and the black striped colours. And have a look at Batawaya. Just get up there to join Vergara there. And watch to your right of screen now. Here comes the winner. Noble Protector in the burgundy, if you like. Craig Williams in the saddle. Watch, it's not Craig Williams, sorry. Watch the right of screen and you'll see Zoom. Damien Oliver just sneak up on the fence there. It was an awesome ride. It is Craig Williams, sorry. And have a look at that acceleration. Wait for the red rail. Bang! He sits down, looks good for the photo. Has a little sneaky look to the right of screen, to the left of screen, his left shoulder. He knew he'd put them away as soon as he snuck up. Now, they all shifted off the fence and allowed him to get up and do that. So it was a soft ride. It was a soft win by her, but she just was able to put on show that beautiful acceleration that she proved that she had in the mire during the Spring Carnival at Flemington. She can back up. Karen Maher said that. She's done that before, so that was no problem. Noble Protector, honest. Good luck to Tim Martin, who trains Heavens Above. She's going places. We hope to see her in the spring.
For sure, Noble Protector third again. Lady LaFay runs a place, 3,269. So Ascadelia, $2.70. Damien Oliver with that win, along with Kieran Maher. She is a cracking filly, that is for sure. So the Nathan Berry medal with one race to go. Huey Bowman's going to win it for the second time. He won it last year. The points are much higher this year now. Admittedly, in the last 2 years, we've had a couple of extra races added on. Tommy Berry currently second. Ollie's had a big day. He's moved through. Not every race today has been a championship race for the Nathan Berry medal, but the last race still to come on that count is the Longines Queen Elizabeth, which is the highlight of the day.
The richest and most prestigious race of the championships. The $4 million Queen Elizabeth Stakes. Run at weight for age over 2,000 metres. The Queen Elizabeth is rivalled only by the Cox Plate as the supreme Australasian weight for age championship. Hall of Fame horses Tulloch.
In the straight, Tulloch's great striding power is highlighted in slow motion.
Might and Power and Lonro have all won this race. Tommy Smith, one of the greatest trainers of all time, won the Queen Elizabeth 11 times. The globe-trotting star Criterion will be shooting for back-to-back victories and a place in the record books of this famous race.
Criterion's burst away in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. It's all over.
Neil summed it up perfectly, didn't he? So Criterion at 680 trying to win for a second time. Preferment has been the big star really in these sorts of races this autumn at $3. The United States late entry fee, we know they've already won a big Group 1 today, the Williams Camp. Why not a second at $5.90? It's somewhat big odds, and the next horse really in the market is Lucia Valentina. Chris Lees has had a terrific day. He's won the provincial championship. He's got a chance here. Hiraki's in the market too for the boys in blue from Godolphin. That's the Longines Queen Elizabeth.
Law standard by which something may be judged or decided. Whatever criterion you use to judge Criterion, looks, performance, versatility, this horse has had a remarkable journey.
Some people hate change and some horses hate change. He loves change.
Hooked and Criterion and Hooked, there's absolutely nothing between them. Two-pack Amaroo raises another effort, but Criterion wins it.
He's a bit of a pain in the neck. He bites and he kicks and he'll zip around. But when you're on him, Ryan will tell you he's the most beautiful ride. He's a child's pony to ride. And if you're leading him and actually doing things with him, he's got a great temperament. Hence, he's such a great horse.
From the beginning, he was a flyer. Originally trained by David Payne, he was the best 2-year-old of his year, rounding them up in the Golden Slipper lead-up, the Todman Stakes.
Criterion and Fast and Rocky out wide have moved up to hit the lead. Criterion pokes his bib in front. Criterion wins the money.
Not many horses can be a genuine Golden Slipper contender, win a derby in the middle and train on to be a Melbourne Cup horse. Since he's been with me, he has not had a day out training in the time I've had him. He's been to Hong Kong 3 times. And he raced in Europe, and he came back and won first up, one of the classics at Caulfield Stakes off a European campaign.
Criterion, Happy Trails. Down the outside is Kermadec. Criterion and Happy Trails at the dying stage, and Mongolian can't lifting, but Criterion wins the Globetrotter.
He's one of my favourites because he's averaged 480,000 a start, what he's earned. So for a trainer, that's 48,000 a start. So I always look at him and give him a pat every morning.
What a race. It's the Longines Queen Elizabeth. Here's Darren Flindell for his call.
They're off and racing, but it's the Derby winner. Criterion well clear inside the 200 metres. Criterion's burst away in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. It's all over. Red Canoe goes into second. Clear from Royal Descent going to third, and Criterion, what an emphatic victory in the $4 million feature.
After today, Criterion will be retired to the luscious Hunter Valley, standing at Henry Field's Newgate Farm stud. Is it the right time for him to leave the stage?
Probably, I think it is. And there's not much more you can do as a horse. You know, he was an outstanding 2-year-old, a Guineas winner at 3, Derby winner at 3, training on to be a weight for age horse. In my opinion, he's a hamburger with a lot.
He's already going to stud with the credentials of being the highest prize money winning earner ever to go to stud in Australia. So for him to put the cherry on the cake next Saturday, geez, that would just be a dream.
Oh, it'd be a dream finish. A finish that is deserved of a horse of this calibre.
Well, what a great initiative by Sir Owen Glenn, the owner of Criterion. And Sir Owen, lovely to meet you. I believe you've given up 10% of the ownership of Criterion today for a competition.
Yes, just as a gesture to bring more attention to the whole industry, and he's going to stud after this, and it's not doing us any harm getting exposure.
Well, the lucky lady is Kylie Watson, who has won the 10%. Welcome to the ownership of Criterion. What a horse you have.
I know, he's amazing. We're just so excited and so grateful to have the opportunity to share Criterion today, even if it's only 10%.
Well, the track looks ideal for him today. A nice sting out to Deja Vu from last year.
Yeah, what a great performance last year. I hear the track's getting a little harder, but that's all right. I think he can handle this. Yeah, and he's fit as a fiddle. I'm just going to see him on top of his game. You know, class is class. Form comes and goes, but he's a class animal, and I think he'll show it today.
You're a
The gap opens up. Rising Romance shoots through, hits the front. Rising Romance drops back in his lap. He says, oh, can I go to the inside? No. To the outside? No. Can I go 3 deep? No. There's a wall of horses. Awesome Rock finally drops off. He gets his space, misses the boat. Have a look at the green colours. Yeehaw! Lucia Valentina. Too good.
Stephen Marsh, who trained the Oaks today, did train this horse, and Richo's caught up with him, and he's gone down to Chris Lee's and put his hand out for a little cut, and I think Chris is going to say to him, you've had a pretty good day, you won the Oaks. So there you go.
Sharing is caring, eh?
Well, the Kiwis don't mind a quid, do they?
Yeah, no, not at all.
So Lucia Valentina, 760 and 260. The United States, terrific run. They paid the late entrance fee. They got 750 grand for running second, and Happy Clapper 240. Gee, what a week he's had, Happy Clapper.
Yeah, and he played up in the gates before.
He did, and
got vetted.
And good on the vets for giving him the run, because he gets 450 grand for running third there. So the Nathan Berry medal, Hugh Bowman wins for the second consecutive year. Damien Oliver makes a late charge. Tommy Berry, who won 2 years ago with James McDonald, finishes third. So 1, 2, 3. Bowman, Oliver and Berry. That over 12 races over the 2 days of the championship. I love it too, the fact that it's named after Nathan. We all do, and the jockeys really care about the medal and want to win. I know the money's big as well around the races, but it's a big and I think a terrific initiative.
No, it certainly is, and the guys do appreciate it. They talk about it very openly. They talk of their fondness of Nathan and the Berry clan. So it's great to think they take it so seriously. And the interesting one there, James McDonald has not won a race.
No, and yet he dominated a couple of weeks ago with those 4 winners. Now, we started the day with what's going to make the headlines. A tick to both of you. I mean, Kieran Maher didn't... I guess he didn't dominate, but he won a big Group 1, didn't he?
Oh,
that's enough.
You've got to love a green tick.
That's enough.
Don't you?
I think the most important thing there is, Bruce, I'm going to have to get a modern-day photo. That's a really old one of me.
That's as good as I've ever looked, so we're not changing it, I can tell you now. But I get across. You are looking pretty good today. I'll give you that. But
claiming 3 back then, wasn't he?
Now,
Those were the days.
You want to watch the next at Sandown, by the way, go to racing.com, the channel 68 and 78. I know Danny O'Brien's had a double there today, and there's been some interesting results. Now, the Rio 2016...
What other sport in the world are women competing side by side with men? Not in tennis, not in soccer, side by side.
Just want to say that everyone else can get stuff because they think women aren't strong enough, but we just beat the world. Girls.
You had every woman around Australia kind of cheered.
Riding's what I love and my passion. I want to do that as much as I can.
You guys have such a special relationship.
Best friend, forever.
Can't live without me?
No.
Oh, that's nice. Can't live without you.
Longines, official timekeeper of Royal Randwick.
Queen Elizabeth today for Longines, and big betting race, hard to pick an outright favourite. Lucia Valentina was well in the market. She'd come into the race with a very different preparation, had won during the spring at Flemington, went to Hong Kong and was competitive in a Group 1 there over 2,000, to come back and run a bottler over a shorter journey. Ollie had her at the back. She flashed home and she bolted away to win her third Group 1, but easily the most prestigious in her glorious career now. And for Damien Oliver, it has been an amazing day, and for Chris Lees, I doubt whether he's had a day like it, to be truthful. And you've just spoken to him, Simon, haven't you?
Yeah, we had a little bit of a hug, mate, a moment there, because I rode group winners for his old man, Maxie, and just had a quick reflection back, and he's just over the moon, so excited, and he tried something different, and as a trainer, you always test yourself, and he learned so much from that win in many ways.
Maddie from Crown Bet, good betting race, we know that, trying to sort things out. Can you give us an overview?
Overview is the bigger bets are on Griante, and there is some bigger bets on Cradle Me. We're happy to lay, but nothing's moving in. So as far as the punter's concerned, they're settled at what the market is now.
How's the day been? You said Ascadilia was Winx-like at one stage.
Yeah, we fought back a little bit. Lucia wasn't bad for us, so I reckon we're about square.
Means you're well in front. That's okay. Well, we'll have a look at the handball, Matty. Look at the top 8. I mean, this is a wide betting race, isn't it? It's a tricky one. I mean, fillies and mares, when they come together like this, you don't normally get a dominant filly at this sort of Group 2, Group 3 level, do you? You do at the Group 1 level, but not at this level.
I love David Brightoak's comment. I had a chat with him and wished him all the best on his Group 1 win, and he said this mare has just, ever since we've been riding her cold and saving that acceleration, she's just turned into a machine, and he said she's just thrived up here, just done so well, so this is the backup. He's not worried about it, and he's just very excited about what she can show again today. And Craig Williams, he said one thing. He goes, watch this go bang in the galaxy.
Really?
It'll just win.
And it did. You would have read the same story. Royal Ascot was mentioned with Griante, which did, you've got to be say to yourself, wow, that's a fair stretch.
For a mare.
She's a good mare, and David's thinking about it anyway. She'd need to win today.
Yeah, I think that's the key ingredient. She's got to put a couple of runs together at the top level, be tested, because she's now watched. You know, it's probably like a footballer who has a breakout season. Well, I think that win last start was a real breakout win for her, and now she's got to keep doing it at that level.
Hey, there's been 2 pretty good mares go over there and win. We know the first one, Miss
Andretti,
and the other one was Miss Andretti, so mares can do it.
But are you putting her in the same category? Black Caveat, leave her aside. She's a panel behind Miss Andretti.
Well, I'm just saying they've been there and they've done that.
So, secret agenda for James Jordan?
No.
I like it when you two are like this. So, secret agenda for James Jordan.
He half sat up in the seat, didn't he? He sort of...
He did, no, he did it.
Well, let's just have a look at this race and see if she can come away again.
The mongrel and the jock came out, didn't it?
Well, she was close to Buffering and Chautauqua. You'd say they'd be competitive over there.
It's lucky I didn't get one put around my tail.
If she wins today by 3 or 4 lengths, you've had a small victory, Simon. But if she doesn't, I'm in Simon O'Donnell's camp, OK?
Well, this is the beautiful thing about what we do here. We don't sit on the fence on Saturday Arvo Racing.
You've gone for Griante. Simon, you're going Vézelay.
I am. I'm going for a bit of value. My little jockey friend, he knows I love a bit of value in a mare's race, so I've gone a bit of value. But so is Richo, which is bad news for me.
No, I think Richo's a lot better judge than you are, to be honest, so I think it's good news for you.
Macca, you're going 2 for 2. You liked Lucia Valentina. What do you like in the last thing? Get out.
Cradle Me.
Dropping the weight?
Yeah, I like the 5.5 kilo drop in the weight against sultry feelings. So number 6 for me. Wow. So Darren Flindell, what a terrific calling job today. What a thrill for any caller. And Luke Marlowe earlier today in the provincial championships. You know, it's been a big day for so many people in so many ways. Huey Bowman a treble, Damien Oliver a treble. There's been great stories. Here's Darren Flindell's call of the Sapphire Stakes.
Comes to action now for the last of the day over the 1,200 metres, and the red light is on. The Peace Force hasn't gone into the gates as yet. Peace Force going forward now. It's in. We're all set now. Ready for the last of the day. Very open betting race. And they're off and racing in the last of the day. Brook Road, no real speed's going to settle back towards the rear of the field, and Two Blue came out running. Ottoman showing a bit of pace on the outside. Veselay the fence, then Secret Agenda bounding right there, and No More Tears up into sixth. Followed then by Grionte on the inside of I've Got the Looks. Brook Road is next. Followed then by Cradle Me, Sultry Feeling caught a bit deep. Followed by Bring Me the Maid, Peace Force, and Very Delicious is the last one. Two Blue loves to stride along in the lead, shows the way from Ottoman, then Veselay. Secret Agenda up into fourth, followed by Bounding No More Tears. Grionte further back to Brook Road. I've Got the Looks off the track. Cradle Me in the pocket from Bring Me the Maid, Sultry Feeling, Very Delicious, and Peace Force is the last one. Around the corner, Two Blue straightens in front of Ottoman and Veselay. Then Secret Agenda, No More Tears bounding between horses, and Brook Road's making ground on the fence, but Two Blue's going strongly. Two Blue a couple in front from Veselay, Secret Agenda, then Brook Road, Grionte into the clear. Two Blue the one to gun down. Two Blue in front from Secret Agenda. Sultry Feeling down the outside fence, but Two Blue in front. Got them beaten in the last. Two Blue goes on to beat Secret Agenda. Brook Road third from Veselay, Cradle Me, Grionte. And Hugh tried something different in the last on Sultry Feeling, but to no avail. Then Peace Force, followed by I've Got the Looks, Very Delicious bounding. Then came Ottoman, and No More Tears was the last one to finish.
Well, a bit of a rough result. Paul King, who does so well on the circuit here, the country circuit really, gets the win, and that really was a front-running ride to remember. And for Kristen Buchanan, what a day for her to win the Sapphire Stakes.
Yep, absolutely. And Paul King, he was the king in Perth.
He was.
He got him in the last race, they say, to get out if you'd done your dough in Melbourne and Sydney. But have a look at her. She's just rolled along in front there, got the right ear up, and very good judge there, Simon. I don't think we'll be going to Royal Ascot on that, will we, Grionte?
Well, Secret Agenda was a good run for James Jordan in second placing there, but True Blue getting home. So his nickname was the Duck, Peking, and Peking gets the money in the final event on the program. Looking forward to the footy tonight. It's a sort of joke they tell on Saturday Night Footy.
A betting update.
Time again for one of our special offers.
Yeah, but is it as special as money back? Because with some of those special offers out there, if you make a bet that doesn't come in, you get a bonus bet. And those winnings have to be turned over again before your play money becomes real money. But when William Hill says money back, they mean money, dollars, in your account to do with whatever you like.
Download and bet with William Hill. Faster, easier betting.
Looking forward to that next week. And here's the Harvey Norman winning moment. Sophia Rosa for New Zealand getting home for Huey Bowman. Then Kerrin McAvoy, beautiful ride on Galante for Lloyd and Nick Williams and Robert Hickmott in the Sydney Cup. And then there's Kerrin there as his second Sydney Cup. And what about Ollie on Ascadelia after the disappointment of the Oaks and for Kieran Ma and Ben Connolly? It was a great result. She was brilliant. Ascadelia winning the Coolmore Legacy. And then Lucia Valentina Ollie again. And Chris Lees, what a day, the Provincial Championships and also the Queen Elizabeth. Let's go to Jason Richardson, and Richo, you've got the winner of the Nathan Berry medal.
Thanks, Richo. Yeah, it's an honour to win the Nathan Berry medal again. And look, the championships, it's still in its infancy, but it's really starting to gain the attention of the racing public, obviously, but the general public here in Sydney. And to be here riding these wonderful thoroughbreds and the opportunity to ride some of the horses I've ridden over the last couple of weeks, and we've got All Age Stakes Day next week as well, so there's still some to look forward to.
So he's won 10 Group 1s this year. The next best in terms of jockeys is 4. This was another big story from the day. Single gaze, that looked so terrible, didn't it? Kathy O'Hara and the horse, and look at that. I mean, we can show it now. I mean, Kathy has got some, what you'd call
serious injuries, broken ribs, broken collarbone, but look, it could have been so much worse. The horse is okay. Kathy, well, she will recover. She will recover. We know that. She's a wonderful young rider, and so there she is. So that's it. That's the championships. It's been brilliant, hasn't it? 21 championships, and you've seen it.
The second day of the championships at Randwick saw a remarkable performance from Lucia Valentina, with Damien Oliver on board, coming from dead last to take out the $4 million Weight for Age Classic, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes.
Here comes Lucia Valentina, like a shot out of a gun. The mare races to the lead. The United States giving chase, then Happy Clapper, but Lucia Valentina, what a slashing win in the Queen Elizabeth.
I think anyone who ever writes a champion off, you do it at your own peril.
Yeah, it was a day to remember for Oliver, who earlier guided Ascadelia to Group 1 glory in the Queen of the Turf Stakes.